All right, welcome back. We are back in court again this week. We're starting a trial this morning. We had a jury that came in, and they'll pick a jury this afternoon and get started on that case, so we'll let you know the outcome. It's an attempted murder case that is a couple of years old, so we will certainly come back on a future date and let you know, but it being proper to talk about it today. I can talk with you about some of our cases that we have had over the last few weeks, and we've gotten a few sentences out of those. First of all, Quandre Tyson, he is a 23-year-old young man from Pageland, that's over the north center of the state, I think Chesterfield County. This arose out of a situation on Ocean Boulevard where two groups were very angry at each other and chose to use Ocean Boulevard as turn it into a shooting spree. One bystander was hit, wounded. That person has recovered, but many of those have already pled guilty, and Quandre Tyson is one in that long line of people shooting back and forth. He was sentenced to 10 years in prison. Just to follow up on this is, from a prosecutor standpoint, a very difficult type case to prosecute, because you can never, there's no timeline on a bullet. Generally, they are fired at each other in a very dangerous manner across the street, and it's very hard to determine who fired first, and therefore who was in maybe acting in self-defense by firing back. But these are always tough cases going forward. It would seem just to be common sense that we don't want a shootout in the middle of a mall or on Ocean Boulevard, but common sense is sort of scarce these days, and that is a really difficult case. I think all of the defendants, but maybe one, maybe two, have pled guilty and have been taken care of out of those that were arrested. There's a bench warrant on one of those, which is an arrest warrant issued from the bench. So we will update you as soon as those cases finish up. But almost everybody got similar sentences of 10 years. Another case that I would update you on here in the first few weeks of October, this is another person that is not from our area. He's actually from Manning. His name is Virgil Jacobs, 38, of Manning. He was charged with and sentenced to 12 years with possession with intent to distribute methamphetamines, and that was a case where coming out of Myrtle Beach also. So the first two cases we look at are people that we've always identified as a problem, are not locals, they're not tourists, they're these day trippers that are just a couple of hours away, hour and a half away in Manning case, and then a couple of hours away in Chesterfield, but come to the beach to do wrongful deeds, and those two are going to be spending somewhere near a decade in prison over it. Finally, we've got one of our locals, a Murrells Inlet man, Nico Williams, 25. This was a situation the weekend of September the 11th, 2020, where Mr. Williams was in an argument with two women. A young man, A.J. Souls, from Tabor City, tried to separate Williams from a fight with these two young ladies, and Nico Williams pulled out a gun, started shooting, and ended the life of Mr. Souls. I think another individual was hit in that. It was at the cookout in Myrtle Beach, the hamburger joint cookout, and Mr. Williams received a sentence of 20 years. So he's going to also serve a couple of decades behind bars. But yet again, another very tragic incident where an argument is followed up by gunfire, and one young man loses his life and another one is going away for 20 years. Those are the cases of significance from last week, and I hope to see you next week where I'll update you on the comings and goings of the court from this week.